and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, just welcome. My name is Ashley. This is my shame stack. I did this video for the first time about 5 months ago, and it's been my most popular video to date. So obviously everybody likes to see what people have got sitting in their shame stack and what hasn't been used yet. So we're going to jump right in. In the last shame stack we had 36 palettes. I have used all but 3 of those. One of them I'm not going to bother using. I may gift it to my sister, but I don't know if she'll like blue eyeshadow. The other 2 I will get around to using, I just haven't yet. But these are the ones that are currently sitting in my shame stack that I haven't spoke about before. So I'm going to go through them. I'm going to give a little bit of background as to why I bought them, what turned us on about them, and yeah, let's get into it. So I've divided them into piles. I've got ones that are just single palettes from brands, and I've got ones that are multiple palettes from multiple brands, if that makes any sense. More than one palette a brand. These ones, it's just one palette per brand. So we're going to kick off. Starting strong, the Haunted Pumpkin palette from Give Me Glow Cosmetics. Need I say any more? I just love everything about this palette. Not only is it just the packaging, love the packaging, I love all of this inside, the spooky forest theme, the colour story is phenomenal. I don't have high hopes for the shimmer formulas. They're not special shimmers, they're just shimmers. I'm more interested in the mattes. Obviously the embossing is fantastic. It's pumpkins, it's everything that I dream about. So makeup and autumn and pumpkin time, Halloween, favourite time of year. So anything that melds them two together, I am on board. Also, Give Me Glow Cosmetics, I've never used before, and this year was all about using brands I hadn't used before. Well, yes, that was part of it anyway. So yes, can't wait to use that. Now, I have actually used this brand before, however I've never had a palette from them before, and it is the Glaminatrix, a barely basic. Such a gorgeous colour story. You're going to see a strong theme throughout this, I think. And this is what the palette looks like. Absolutely stunning. Stunning, stunning, stunning. I imagined this to be so huge when I actually seen it for the first time. But I think it's because it's not like this. And it's like this. And I thought it was going to be huge, but it is quite nice. It's still quite a small palette. Can't wait. Do I need to say why? I'll say why. So obviously, this section here. This is why. This is what my soul looks like, I think. These grungy, green, murky, gloomy, mossy kinds of tones. Oh, and I'm just looking at this shimmer. Just the shift on it. I just want to eat it. But I won't. Next up, this is kind of breaking my heart, this one. Smoke Sessions 2. I love Melt Cosmetics. I love the packaging for this. Everyone has their thoughts and feelings about Melt. My thoughts and feelings are that I love them. Absolutely, truly love them. I don't buy Melt for their shimmers, I buy them for their mattes. This is a very shimmer heavy palette. I've recently moved my makeup studio from downstairs to upstairs, and in doing so checked all of my palettes. I just thought it was the responsible makeup owner thing to do. And when I discovered this, my heart broke. This shade just slid out of its pan into the next one, and there was no saving it. It was just crumbling. Even if I was trying to repress it, it was just coming out even more. So I just ended up scraping it out. I am really intrigued by these 2 mattes from this palette, and the shimmers have gotten better with Melt. That was in the that was noticed in the Halloween, no, in the Nightmare Before Christmas Town palette. The shimmers were outstanding in that palette. So I'm a little bit upset. I'm excited to use it, but a little less so, you know. Next up, Blend Money Machina. Everyone says it differently. Machina, that's how I'm going to say it, because it is about nature meeting machines. And this is what the colour story looks like. So initially wasn't going to get this, but then someone said, well Ashley, these are your greens, and they are very, 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 very right. I have bought it for this side of the palette only, not really fussed about this, but there is a couple of shades in it I have caught my eye that I might be interested in, but mainly here. Here is where I live. Gorgeous. Up next, just to push boundaries a little bit, because you have to push yourself out of your comfort zone every now and again. We have the Natasha Denona Retro Glam palette, sorry. I don't like this colour story. The packaging's pretty funky, I don't mind that, but I don't like the colour story. However, it's green heavy. Well, let's say it's green heavy, it's actually not green heavy. But this palette, because I am an affiliate with the brand, was offered to me for $20, including delivery. So you'd be a fool to say no to that. It's a Natasha Denona palette, so the quality is going to be there, although I do not like the colour story. But I am going to try to find a way to make this work for me. It will push me outside of my comfort zone, which is a great thing. So yes, I'm excited to use that. And last of the single palettes is the Lunar Beauty Moon Shroom. Is that the back of the palette? It is. This is what it looks like from the front. This beautiful raised moon and a little fairy sitting on the top. This is why I bought it. I think it's becoming a bit obvious why. Sludge goodness. Itchy nose. I have two other Lunar Beauty palettes that I am absolutely in love with. I didn't think I was going to love them as much as what I did, but I am really, really in love with them. I love the quality, I love how they perform, and so because this had a colour story that really, really spoke to us, I just had to get it. I think this could be my favourite palette. I mean, that's a bit of a bold statement because I have many favourite palettes, but I just think it's going to be up there with my favourite palette. I really do. I really think it's a strong contender at least. Okay, let's get into the multi-palettes. So I'll start off with Bella Beauty Bar, I'm not too sure how you say it. I say Bella Beauty Bar because it sounds fancier. This is the Dead Roses palette, and this was their Valentine's release this year. I wasn't going to pick it up initially because I wasn't really fussed. Then I seen people using it, I got FOMO, and that is part of my problem. I have technically already used this because, as you'll see, there is a heap of shades missing that are currently in a buy-up, and I have already used this in a buy-up. So technically this palette has been used, but there is some gorgeous, yummy shades in there. Friend Zone being one of them that I can't wait to slather all over my eyeballs. Secret Garden by Bella Beauty Bar. I don't really care for the packaging, I'm going to be honest, I don't. This one and the Dead Roses not bothered about, however I do love the packaging for Recently De-Influenced and the Strange and Unusual palette. I love the artwork on those two. Anyway, I digress. This is what the colour story looks like for this. Some very special shades in there too. I have used two of these shades in buy-up, so technically I haven't really used a look for this palette yet. I can't wait to jump into the greens. I think that's where I'm most excited and where my heart really lies. Green is my favourite colour. Okay, next up we're going to go with Lethal Cosmetics. Now these are the Avatar Last Airbender palettes. They look like this. And those four palettes, obviously air, earth, wind, fire and water. Air, earth, no, wind, fire and water. Air is wind. Air, earth, fire and water. And I went with the water palette and the earth palette. This is what the water palette looks like. Beautiful. I'm very, very, very intrigued by this shade in the middle called Curic. Gorgeous. And then we've got the earth palette, which no guessing why I bought this one. can't wait to get stuck into this. I'm gonna probably live with this on my face, I reckon. This shade, in my mind's eye, well, in the promos I'll say, not even in my mind's eye, whatever they did to the photos made that look like a really deep, plummy, wine kind of colour, and I am going to pair this palette with that kind of colour because I thought that is a great shade for that kind of colour story. Alas, it's not it, so I'm going to make it so. Up next we have Titanium Foxes. So we've got the Poppy Storm palette. Straight away I knew I had to have this, and they released a second palette and you can buy it in a bundle. It's called the Poppy Bundle. I'll show you that palette in a second, but wow. That murky green against that red. Oh, see, this is the kind of shade I was talking about. This one here, but just darker. So against that green, it just looks beautiful. So that's what I'm going to do with the Earth palette. But oh, so gorgeous. And their kind of mission statement, I want to say, is it a mission statement? I don't know. But it says basically that anyone should be able to enjoy colour regardless of age. So it just won us over. It was just such a beautiful sentiment. This is the Poppy Quiet, slightly prettier sister. This one's more grungy, this is pretty. And this is what the colour story looks like. Just so subtle, soft, beautiful, sparkly, shifty goodness. I'm so excited. Burnt Cloud, that's an interesting shade as well. Oh, so in love, so in love. Next up we have Gourmande Girls, a new, what I needed to say was Titanium Foxes is a completely new brand to me as well. This brand also new to me. Gourmande Girls. So I've got the Haunted palette. Anything spooky themed, sign me up. This palette came smashed. I did fix it though. Brand was amazing. Absolutely fantastic setup. They would replace it, but I managed to fix it and I just didn't want it to go to waste. So I've just kept it. I'm excited to use that. And then Spooked from the same brand. Again, this one came smashed, but I managed to fix it. No harm, no foul. Gorgeous, grungy shades. Beautiful. Okay, nearly there, nearly there. We've got Wicked Widow Beauty, another brand. Haven't tried anything from them. They released the Crow palette, because obviously the release of the new movie with, what's his name? He played Skarsgård, Bill Skarsgård. He played Pennywise as well. So I don't think it was in because that was coming out again, but anyway, this is the first brand I think that I've done a collaboration with the Crow, and this is what the colour story looks like. Now this had a really long pre-order, and I was kind of getting a bit bored, and I was seeing everybody and I was like, I'm kind of off the colour story now. But then when it arrived, the shimmers are really special. They don't look it in the pan, but they are when they're swatched out. The only thing that puts us off, these 3 shades, I don't think there's enough diversity there with the shades, and they could have possibly opted for something else. I'm not too sure what that could have been. Maybe it's a blue, like a petrol blue maybe. This is blue leaning slightly, but it's just too similar to this one for me. That's the only criticism I've got for this. That and their ridiculously long pre-order, but that's by the by. And then the second palette from them is the Graveyard Smash. And it's just the cutest little colour story, and it gives me all of the inspiration I need for my beautiful fall, autumn like looks. Oh, I just love it. I get so inspired when I look at it. I love these 2 colours together. I'm blinding you, I'm sorry. Oh, it's me, hi. Yeah, I love these 2 colours together. The purpley and the mustardy colour. Beautiful. Can't wait. Okay, we're down to the last brand now. There's 4 palettes from this brand. Now, I've actually got, this palette here was a 2-part collection. 2 eyeshadow palettes, and I've got the first eyeshadow palette on my eyeball right now, and it is the Nightmare on Elm Street from Glamlite. This one is the Never Sleep Again. So I've used the green one, and this is the red one, red and silver, red, black and silver. I'm actually doing a series, movies and makeup, so it's a Glamlite horror knockout where I am actually pitting the Glamlite horror releases against each other while I talk about the movies, because I am a little bit of a movie buff, especially when it comes to 80s horrors. So this is going to be the second round for Nightmare on Elm Street. The first round has already been filmed. If you haven't seen that, you should give it a watch. I'm quite proud of that video. It's something I'm passionate about, and I really enjoyed filming it. So the first one was Ghostface and versus Jason, and then this next one is going to be Freddy versus Chucky. So this is my Freddy look. Note the earrings. And this is the Chucky palette. So it's in my shame pile, but it's in my shame pile because it's going to be part of the second, well, it's going to be the second part of a video I've just filmed. So they've got the lenticular covers, and this is what the colour story looks like. So I am going to be picking up another couple of the Halloween collections from Glamlite, the horror collections, for the purpose of doing these videos because I really enjoy them. I seen this colour story and I wasn't too fussed by it. I didn't think there was enough diversity. I thought it was like a one-trick pony, but actually once I seen more people using this, I was actually intrigued by the colour story. And what I will say is influencers and brands, like the people that that are in their employ to kind of sell these palettes, are not doing a good job. The photographers are not doing a good job. The reason I'm buying this palette is because of the creators that I follow on my own Instagram, because of the work that they're doing. And you can actually see the true palette reflection, because when you looked at it, it just all looked the same on their actual promo photos. So yes, let me rethink that, Glamlite, if you're watching. I doubt you are. But if you have, rethink. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. So yeah, if you want to see how that palette pits up against this, stay tuned. Betty Boop, gorgeous and red. So this, I love a red eyeshadow. This, I think a lot of people have said that they were worried that this was just going to be a one-trick pony. And I think that's because this background's red. If this was a different colour background, I think you'd see how different the shades are in this palette. It's not all red at all. And I'm really excited to use it. And apparently the formula is fantastic. So I'm happy about that. Last but not least is the Kiss palette from Glamlite. Now it comes in this big chunky box. It looks like this on the inside. And again, it's got the lenticular cover. I even kept the little plastic sheeting because it's got all these funky little designs on, which I like. And this is what the colour story looks like. It's quite a jewelled palette. People have slated this palette, but the reason I got it was for the blues, because I don't have anything blue from Glamlite apart from the Scooby-Doo palette, and that is a different kind of blue. It's like a more bright blue. This is a jewelled blue. So I'm still glad that I have it, and I'm interested to see what it's like, to see if it isn't as good as performing as the rest of them. But what I will say is that the palette that I used for this look, it's different, but I wouldn't say it's bad performing. It's just not what I'm used to. It's just not the Glaminatrix formula I am used to. So we've come to the end of that shame stack. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Is that right? I don't know, 1 minute. 20. I can't count. So we've got 20 in the shame stack. Like I said, 36 was in the last shame stack. There's only 3 left, so I used 33 palettes in 5 months, I think. Maybe 6. I take my time. I do. But I do really love building the little pile up and going through them and looking at them untouched. There's something about it. And I love watching everybody else's to see what they've got. I don't know, there's just that I do suffer from FOMO, I know that I do. And I've got a lot of makeup because of that. And my spending does have to slow down next year anyway. I figured out how much I spent last year and it nearly turned my hair white. So as long as I spend less this year than I did last year, I'm in front, and I'll just continue that trend, downward trend. So I'm glad, because I have actually, I think I've crossed off every brand that I wanted to try this year. I haven't tried them all, but I've bought palettes from them all. So yeah, I'm just hoping that they perform and they're as good as what I think they're going to be. I can't wait to get my hands on the new Glamlite, which will be in my next Shame Stack photo video, which may be towards the end of the year. But I am going to look to do an actual full collection of my eyeshadow palettes towards the end of the year, and I'll just show what I'm decluttering. But yeah, I hope you enjoy these kinds of videos, because I enjoy doing them. I enjoy talking about the motivation behind why I wanted to buy them. Let me know what you think. Have you tried any of these palettes? If you haven't subscribed, I'd appreciate if you do so. I'd love to hear all of your thoughts, feelings about anything at all. And if you would be so kind, please give me a thumbs up. And I'd love to see you again. I'll see you next time.